Hey guys, welcome to the floor of my library. So, I just got home from Apollycon 2019, and I am not ready to return to normal adult human life. Like, I gotta go back to work tomorrow. My brain's not there yet. So I figured I would sit down and talk to you guys about my experience there, show you all the stuff that I got, because I came home with like twice as much stuff as when I went with. I'm sitting amidst a lot of stacks of books and stuff and swag and things. So this is going to be a haul. This is going to be like a chatty discussion thing. I might show you some of the books that I got signed. I'm not going to show you all of them because it would take like way too long. So basically, in case you guys didn't know, Apollycon is a huge romance author convention that is put on by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and it is in Washington, D.C. / like Arlington, Virginia. It's in that weird like city area that I only found out about last year. I went to Nova Teen Book Festival and I heard people talking about Apollycon and I was like, what is that? And basically it's in the same city. So generally if you go to one, you go to the other. So I bought tickets last year. They were very expensive. I got the Titan Pass, which is like the top tier ticket, because I was like, if I'm going to travel and if I'm going to do this event, I want to do this event right. So I basically got the badge that allowed me to go to everything. It's technically a 4-day long event. Like, it starts Thursday night and it runs through Sunday morning. I only went Friday and Saturday during the day, and I feel like I still got my money's worth out of the ticket price because we did so much. My body is so sore and so tired, but I'm still riding the fangirl high for as long as I can. So I guess I'm going to show you all the stuff that I got. Basically, when you checked in at the hotel and you got registered, you got your badge, you got your wristband, which I just tied to my lanyard. You got an exclusive enamel pin that came for the event, which I just kind of attached to the lanyard so I wouldn't lose it. You got a whole bunch of wristbands. This is not really fun swag or anything, but these are for the high demand authors. It was how they did like their ticketing system. And then they handed you this huge bag full of books and swag. This was exclusive for the Titan passes. Obviously on the back you can see Apollycon 2019 Titan. So basically this was just full of stuff. Like, I'm not exaggerating. There is so much just like swag. Oh, that was a bad idea. I regret doing that. It's just like pens and like bookmarks and keychains and mirrors and just like swaggy type things. So that's all the stuff that you don't know what to do with when you come home from an event. In that bag, we also got, I think, 6 books. You also got to pick a Jennifer L. Armentrout book with your ticket. So I got a copy of Wicked because this is one of my unread series by her. So this came with buying the Titan Pass. So technically this got tossed in the bag as well. I got this amazing hardback copy of Blue Window by Adina Reish Gerwerts? I have no idea. It's a huge honkin' hardback. I've never heard of this. I'm not going to go through synopsises, plural of synopsis, for all of these because time. It's going to be a long video. But I got this in the Titan bag. I also got a copy of Misadventures of a City Girl by Meredith Wild, which I think is part of like a whole series. Like, there's a bunch of books on the back, but obviously this is going to be some romance. I'm guessing about a city girl. But there is actually an arc of, what is this called? Kingdom of Exiles by Maxim M. Martineau. And this comes out in June. I believe that, oh gosh, I believe that's what the cover actually looks like. But there was an arc in there, which is cool. So this is a June release, I believe. Ooh, it says the most anticipated fantasy romance debut of the year. I don't know if I believe that or not because I've never heard of it, but I'm excited. Actually, she might have been signing there. I'm not sure. But either way, this was in the bag. I got a copy of A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher, who was signing there. Y'all know how I felt about this book, so I might be doing a giveaway about this if any of you guys are curious about this book. I was not a huge fan, but I have a copy of it for free now. I also got a nice steamy cowboy romance, Mass Market by B.J. Daniels. This includes Cowboy's Redemption and Premeditated Marriage, 2 books in one. Hello, cowboy romance. Come at me. Then I got a Kristen Feehan book. This is the first book in the Torpedo Ink series, which is called Judgment Road. So I think this is like a motorcycle tattooed biker bad boy romance. I've never read anything by Christine Feehan, so kind of excited to get one for free, you know. So that was everything that came in the Titan bag. And I'm not exaggerating, there is so much swag. It was just tons of bookmarks and keychains and pens and all of the stuff that you just grab at conventions. I also, technically I pre-ordered this, but I picked it up at the event. I got an Apollycon 2019 t-shirt because I feel like if you're gonna get anything for the event, you should get a shirt. So I got my shirt. You could pick this up at the signing. So I went over to it. It was made by the Bookish Shop, I believe. So I went over to the booth for the Bookish Shop and picked up my shirt. So this is another, like, I just hit myself in the face with the tag. That's fine, I'll leave it in. I just picked this up from their booth during the signing, but that's another swaggy type thing. During one of the signings, there are a lot of vendor booths that are in the signing halls as well that you can buy stuff from. The Bookworm box, which is a subscription box that Colleen Hoover actually runs, was set up there, and they were doing grab bags, and you could pick what type of grab bag you wanted. I picked a bad boy one, because hello. They all had romance trope things that you could choose from, so I picked that. You could buy these for $10. So I got a copy of Because You're Mine by Claire Contreras, and look at that steamy cover. Hello. And all of these came signed, so that was pretty cool. So this wasn't an author that was at the event, but it's still a signed book that I got there, so thank you, Bookworm Box. I guess the next swag thing that I have to show you guys was from the Sparkler event, which was like this meet and greet speed dating thing that you could do with all of the authors, which was really fun. And if you went and you were one of the first 500 people to get in, you got a grab bag of stuff. So in that grab bag, we got a book and some stuff. So in there, we got a copy of 1001 Dark Nights, Envy, an illegal elite novella. This one is by Rachel Van Dyken. The entire Sparkler event was all of the authors that are featured in the 1001 Nights collection series. It's the series that a whole bunch of romance authors contribute to. I think this one was like Rachel Van Dyken's story that was added to the books. There's a whole series of these books out with like a ton of different authors featured in it. So I happened to get this one. I know a bunch of people got different ones. This is the one I got, and I'm okay because it's got a tattooed boy on the cover, so hello. There's also this cute pouch. Like, it's like a legit zippered makeup pouch, which is actually really nice. Like, it's got a pocket in there and whatnot. But this is for Kristen Proby's crossover collection, and it lists a whole bunch of authors. And there was also this whole like grab bag thing. I believe it has a coloring book in it. It's got a bookmark. Everything at this event had to do with the 1001 Nights authors and whatnot. That's what the event was for. So that's what the swag bag was for. Okay, moving into the last like event thing that I went to outside of the signings. I actually got invited to go to a blogger event with Berkeley Romance. Berkeley Publishing was actually hosting this like meet and greet mingle thing for people in the book community. If you were a blogger, if you were a booktuber, if you were a bookstagrammer, if you were some sort of book influencer, you got invited to this event, which was really cool. And when you walked in, they handed you this bag that had ARCs in it. Can you guess why I went to this event? Hello, I got ARCs. So it was this amazing bag, which was actually a really nice bag. Like, it's a crossbody tote bag, which I appreciated later on in the event. In it, there were 3 ARCs that were all different. Everybody got different ARCs, and once all of the people who got invited were there, they let us just rummage through all of the leftover ARCs. So let me show you the ARCs that I picked up there. So the first one is Not the Girl You Marry, and this is by Andy J. Christopher, which I just found out after I got home that she was signing there, and I'm like crushed that I didn't get to go get this copy signed. Also, because she had her dog with her. I kept seeing this person walk around with a Frenchie, and it was like the cutest little French bulldog ever, and I wanted to go pet him, but I didn't because I'm socially awkward. But I just found out that it was this author, and I could have gotten this signed. Hindsight. But all of these are pretty much upcoming contemporary romances that are being released. This one actually doesn't come out until November, so this is actually a really far advanced copy, but I'm very excited to get to this. I also got a copy of The Bookish Life of Nina Hill by Abby Waxman. This one comes out in July, comes out on July 9th. This one looks right up my alley. I mean, is it following a book nerd? Yeah, I'm gonna read it. Is it contemporary romance? Yeah, I'm gonna read it. So I'm very excited to get to this one. I also got a copy of When We Left Cuba by Chanel Cleeton, which is the sequel to Next Year in Havana, which I bought at the event. I'll haul that later in this thing. But I hadn't read it, but I know a lot of my friends, it was one of their favorite books of last year. Like, it was one of their favorite romances they've ever read. It's historical romance, I believe. But I got an ARC of the sequel to it, and she was signing there. So I did actually get this copy signed while I was there, and she was so sweet. So I'm so glad that like this gave me the opportunity to go up and talk to her. So I did get this in the bag. I also got a copy of Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey. This is like a huge push for Berkeley. This is like one of the books that a lot of people are hauling right now. From what I've heard, this is just like what you picture it to be. It's going to be like the cutest, fluffiest, sweetest contemporary romance. Honestly, that's what I'm in the mood for right now. So I'm so glad that I got a bag full of these like super cute, fluffy romances. This one comes out in June. Comes out on June 11th, so I'm very excited to get to this. This was like a hot ticket one that I'm very glad that I got a copy of while I was there. And the last one that I got in my bag was Natalie Tan's Book of Luck and Fortune by Roselle Lim. So this looks super precious. I can't wait to get to this. This also comes out, when does this come out? Also on June 11th. Oh wait, this is blurbed by Helen Huang. Hello. Can you know what's at the top of my TBR pile right now? It's this book. Thank you so much to Berkeley for hosting that event. It introduced me to so many people that I met there that was like super fun. It was just a whole bunch of bloggers. We all got to hang out and eat cookies and get arcs together. Those aren't all of the arcs that they had available. There were actually a lot more that I personally didn't get, but other people did. But I'm pretty excited to have all of those. So that was a really fun event. It was a really cool networking opportunity. So that was super fun. Okay, let's get into the books that I bought right before going to the convention because I knew that I wanted to meet some of these authors of books that I had read recently. Some of the books that I bought at the convention, because of course I couldn't go to a convention without buying some books. I was good, but I still bought some. And then I'll very briefly go through some of the books that I got signed. So if you guys watched my wrap up last month, you guys know that I binged through the True North series by Serena Bowen. And Serena Bowen is like a unicorn author for a lot of people. Like most romance readers, she's one of their favorite authors. And this just happened to be the series that I got to right before the event, and I fell in love with it. So I kind of spontaneously bought the first 3 books just so that I could go through her line and get them signed. I've read further in the series than these 3, but I didn't want to like spend all of my money for this event, so I got the first 3 signed because these were my favorite so far in the series, so I got to meet her. It was super fun. I was very excited about it. I also just recently listened to Grip by Kennedy Ryan, and I'm going to talk about this in my March wrap-up. What month are we in? Yeah, March. Because this is one of the best romances I've ever read, and I am so glad that I made time to read this before going because I knew she was going to be signing there, so I kind of like squeezed it in last minute, and this is quickly becoming one of my favorite romance books of all time. So I got this, and then I also ordered the prequel novella and the sequel to it, and I got to meet her, and guys, let me tell you, she's my new favorite author. Like, she is one of my most favorite human beings I have ever interacted with. She is so sweet. Like, I can't even express how happy she made me just talking to her. Like, she talked to me for so long, and she was so adorable. I loved her. So basically, I bought these right before going to the event, and I, like, fangirled with her about how much I adored Grip, and I asked her where I should go next after finishing this series, like which of her books I should turn to next, and she pointed me towards Longshot. So, she did kind of give me a content warning saying this is like her most intense and most like dark story. I believe this is a basketball romance, which is something that I'm getting into sports romances. I didn't think it was a road that I was going to walk down, but here I am just jogging along with all these jocks and loving my life. Okay, but anyway, so she kind of sold me on this. I got those copies signed on Friday night, and I actually went back to her booth on Saturday and ended up buying this and getting it signed by her because I didn't know when I would meet her again. So I did get this copy signed, and I can't wait to get to this. Like, I'm so excited. Based on the first series, I adore her writing, and she is such a, like, diverse romance author. Like, she tackles some really hard topics in her books. It was so good. She's my new favorite author. I adore her. Like I said, I did pick up a copy of Next Year in Havana by Chanel Cleeton because I got the arc for the sequel. They actually had a mini mobile Barnes & Noble setup in the hotel that you could go and shop all of the authors that were there in case you wanted to buy copies of their books and get them signed while you were there. Guilty. I did that. So I did pick this up and I did get it signed by her. And I am so glad that I did because she was so nice. Like, she's just one of those people who just like exudes happiness. I can't wait to get to this. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, so I think I'm gonna get to this like real soon. While I was in the mini Barnes & Noble store thing that they had set up there, I picked up copies of the new covers of Stone Cold Touch and Every Last Breath. They were sold out of White Hot Kiss, which is the first book in the series, but I actually just ordered it because Jennifer L. Armentrout is actually signing at Nova Teen Book Festival next weekend. So she was one of the authors that I didn't get a wristband for because obviously this event is her event. Her line is the longest. She was also signing with Drew, who is her cover model for the Prophecy, the Struggle, the Power, the spin-off series of the Covenant series. He was there being real adorable and sexy and was also signing books with her. So her line was pretty much never ending. So I actually didn't get any books signed by her there because I'm going to take them to Nova, which is a much smaller event. So I bought these two while I was there and I could get like the con pricing. So I picked these up. I also picked up a copy of The Chase and The Deal by Elle Kennedy because she is signing there. And again, she is a huge author. I don't know anybody who reads romance who doesn't recommend Elle Kennedy to me. I want to say this one is first. This is the Briar U, or the Briar University series, and I think there's 4 books in this, and I want to say this is a spin-off series. If you guys have read these, let me know which one to start with, but I'm pretty sure The Deal is the first book in the Off-Campus series. So for some reason, that's telling me I should read this one second after I read through this series. Does that make sense? I know these are 2 separate series. I'm aware of that. But she was signing there, so I had to get these signed while she was there because she doesn't do that many signings, and I feel like she's another unicorn author, so I picked these up and I got them signed. I think as far as books that I bought there, these are my last 2. I picked up 2 Elise Kova books. I've already read Air Awakens by her. This is the first book, and I think it was her first series that she wrote. And I also picked up Society of Wishes. This one is also co-authored by Lynn Larsh, but this is like a paranormal witchy romance type story, and this is like actual fantasy. I have read this one. It was okay. But I adore Elise as a person. Like, I follow her on all social media, and she's somewhat local to me, and she's just a really cool person, so I kind of wanted to support her and get books signed by her while I was there. And I was really intrigued by this series, so while I was there, I picked up her last 2 copies of these books. Okay, I think that concludes the haul portion of this video. Let me very briefly go through some of the authors that I met and got books signed by and whatnot. I guess, clearly, the biggest draw of this event was the fact that Sarah J. Maas was signing, and you could get 1 book signed by her. It was this whole lottery system. I managed to win a spot in her signing line, and I got this gorgeous copy, like this painted copy of Akamath, signed and personalized, and I got to meet Sarah J. Maas. I fangirled real hard. Like, that was probably my least flattering signing. Usually I'm really good at talking to authors, and I'm very, like, personable and happy and bubbly, and I can make small talk. It wasn't pretty with her. I was very awkward. It was fine. It was amazing. It was so cool. I got to meet her. Her husband and Taryn were there, and they're just precious. So this was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I took advantage of it. I got this signed. You could only get 1 copy signed and personalized by her, but she did have a stamp that was made exclusively for Polycon that you could stamp all your other books with. Let me see if that'll show up. So it's this gold stamp with her signature that actually says Apollycon 2019. And you better believe I took advantage of it. I literally brought all of my Sarah J. Maas books, and I stamped all of them. Why I lugged that through the city and into the hotel, I don't know. My shoulders were not happy with me, but I did get all of those signed. It was very, very exciting. Okay, moving through the signing stuff. I got to meet Helena Hunting, and I got my Clipped Wings book signed, which is like some of my new favorite romance. Like, Hayden that's my kink. Hayden, the character that's in this book. I'm down with that. So I did get to meet her. She was super nice, even though her line was never ending. She was so nice to every single person who came through her line. So I met her. I also got to meet Bridget Kemmerer, and she signed all of these books. I walked up with like a stack, and she was so, so nice. And she signed and personalized and wrote stuff in all of these books. Like, I walked up with a stack, and she was like, bring it on, and I was like, yes. So I fangirled with her, and her signing assistant was actually Anna Bright, who is like a YA author. She has The Beholder coming out soon, and she was like the cutest person ever. So I'm so glad that I like went up to her table and I talked to her for like 20 minutes. She was a sweetheart. While I'm talking about big stacks of books, I also got to meet Sophie Jordan, which I adore. I've been reading her for years. I literally have an arc of Firelight that I've had on my shelf for probably 10 years now that I finally just got signed by her. She writes, like, obviously YA, but she also writes, like, Regency romance. So she covers, like, two very different genres, but she really appreciated seeing this huge stack of, like, older YA books that she hasn't seen in a while, so that was kind of cool to talk to her about those. I got to meet Krista and Becca Ritchie, who are stunningly beautiful, and I can't tell them apart. In case you guys didn't know, they are identical twins who write romance together, and I am quickly falling in love with all of their books. These are like my most recommended new adult romances. If you're looking to get into new adult romance, these are going to be the ones that I'm going to point you to. They were so sweet. They signed my books. Both of them signed. It was so fun. I got to ask if they were going to continue the series. I think they're going to. It's going to be great. So I got to meet them. I got to meet Jay Crownover, who has, like, the biggest personality. Like, I don't know how she has so much energy, but she was on for every single person. She took selfies with every person who came through her line. She talked to you for, like, 10 minutes, every single person. She was just so accommodating, and I'm so glad I met her. She was such a cool person. She's, like, covered in tattoos. She's got purple hair. She's awesome. Same thing with Cora Carmack. She was the first person that I actually got a book signed by over this weekend, and she was such a freaking sweetheart. She took pictures with everybody. She talked to everybody. I got to talk to her about Rage, which is a sequel to Roar, which I can't wait for. So, and I think she's coming back next year, so I'll get to get my copy of Rage signed by her next year as well. But I got this signed by her. I met Cami Garcia. I met Wendy Higgins. I also met both of Christina and Lauren, who make up Christina Lauren. I got my copies of my favorite ones by them signed. Oh my gosh, it was a weekend, guys. I don't know where I am in my stack. I got about 30 books signed this weekend. My shoulders were complaining because I carried that many books around with me, but my soul is happy. It was a great weekend. So if you stuck through to the end of this video, and if you have questions about the actual event and how it runs and everything, I'll be happy to either make a video or talk to you guys about it. Am I going again next year? Hell yes. God, I hope I can get tickets. It was the most stressful ticket buying purchase I've ever made because they sell out so fast, but you better believe I'm going to be going next year because this was like the coolest event ever. Everyone there was just like so excited to be there. It was all just like book nerds, and you just get to like bond with everybody while you're waiting in line for everything and just make new friends. So for everybody who came up to me and said hi to me, I'm sorry that I was so awkward. I was very overwhelmed all weekend. I promise I'm a normal person, but thank you so much for saying hi to me. It made me feel like so special. Don't know what else I should talk about in this video. It was just so fun. I need to clean up everything now. My library is a mess. I think I'm just gonna go read some more smut now though. That's probably the plan. Okay, so that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys could tell that I was very excited about this event. And I'll see you guys in my next video.